And welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert, and I'm riding solo here this afternoon. Recorded Joel and I last night, pretty in-depth on each game, each series here on Thursday night and Friday night. So go back and listen to that if you want more on that. But going to be looking at more of some player props and just surface level stuff on these games and series we're already talking about. I'll get more into the game threes coming up on Friday that we saw the game twos of last night. So we'll get into that. But yeah, going to be a quick one here, trying to do more player prop stuff. People are asking for more podcasts here. All the casuals getting involved. You want to know what point should I bet tonight? What's a good prop to bet tonight? So figured I'd come on and do something there, go through every game. Got quite a few options for each game. So, pick and choose what you like. Just trying to give you guys some information, some options you can hopefully cash in on there. But of course, top of the show, make sure you guys are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Right now, during playoff times, being subscribed on YouTube is most important. You can get there when we go live. You get the information right away. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube and hit that bell so you know when we are going live, get those notifications. And of course, Apple and Spotify are important as well. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review there. Follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Could be trying to getting more schedule stuff up there so you know when we're going live. Then, of course, in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord, we put in there when we're going live as well. So plenty of options for you guys to know when to listen, where to listen, and all that good stuff there. But yeah, had a few good games last night. A few games didn't necessarily go our way, but another overtime game. But yeah, getting to the Thursday's game here. Kicking off here in about 2.5 hours. Not going to dilly-dally too much here. Just going to get right into it. Of course, make sure you check out the SGPN app and the SGPN NFL Draft Show. A few hours here. Live watch party for the entire round one of the NFL Draft, featuring all your favorite hosts and fans from SGPN. Tune in Thursday tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. But yeah, let's get into these player props here starting on Thursday. We got the 6:30, I believe the start is. Panthers at Lightning. Panthers plus 105, Lightning minus 125. I do like the Lightning in this game to bounce back. But looking at some of the player props over here, gonna start it off with the one and only Matthew Kachchuck. He had a great game there in game one in his return. So have to go looking back to him. It was a big 6-2 win. In game one, Kachchuck had 2 power play goals. I think he also had an assist, for a 3-point game there. So minus 175 to get a point. Minus 164 is out there. He does have a point in 7 straight games. 62% of the season overall, he had a point in those games, and 9 of the last 10 meetings head-to-head against the Lightning. So he really gets up for this rivalry series, the Alligator Alley down there in Florida. So, kind of a safer play there, minus 175, maybe a parlay piece. But you go over here, you get him 2+ points. He's at plus 285 here on DraftKings, 3-1 on other books as well. He's got multiple points in how many 7 of his past 10 against the Lightning. He had multiple points in those games. 3 straight overall, 4 of his past 5 of his past 7, 6 of his past 9. So, and I'm expecting a high-scoring game. Should be a physical battle. Should be plenty of those power plays opportunities. Definitely going to be looking at power play points as well. Going to get into that. And you know what? If you like Matthew Kachchuck, why not go 3+ points? You get a good plus 750. There is a plus 1060 out there. He's gotten 3 points in 3 straight games. Of course, his first 2 were way back in February, before the Four Nations face-off break. But yeah, 3 straight, 4 of 7, 5 of 9. Head-to-head against the Lightning, he has 3 points last game. And the only other game was back in 2023. So going to be a long shot. But I mean, if you put a 1/10 of a unit on that, 10-1 could be a good return there. I mentioned the power play point for Matthew Kachchuck here as well. Let me scroll down, see what that is at here. Minus 1. No, that's points over under. Power play point is going to be plus 210. Yeah, that's kind of market value out there. Has a power play point in 3 straight games, 4 of his past 5. I mean, he's been 36% this season overall, but we know that ticks up in the postseason, and he has a power play point in 6 of 10 meetings against the Lightning. So as I mentioned, he's been great against the Lightning, especially so on the power play. And he had 2 power play points in game 1. To get 2 power play points on a different book is 12-1. So, maybe a good sprinkle there, but primarily just look at these power play point props for Kachuk. Maybe, if you want to take a crack at him to get a goal, get an assist. I'm playing it safe probably with just points, but plus 135 for an assist. Goal is plus 220. He's scored in 7 straight games. I mean, he's on a goal scoring barrage there. And also going to be looking at his line mate, Alexander Barkov, not to get 1 point. I'm going to look at him to get 2 points here. 1 point is minus 175, but 2 points, plus 285 right there with Kachuk. He has 2 points in 2 straight games, 3 of his past 6. And then looking at head-to-head against the Lightning, 2 straight games against the Lightning, he has multiple points. 3 of his past 5 games as well, and 5 of his past 11 against the Lightning. So Barkov, Kachuk, if you want to look them as those are not line mates there, but 2 good guys. Barkov top line, Kachuk on the second line there. You can look for, and then of course Sam Reinhart, 3+ shots on goal is at plus 110. That's something I'm definitely looking at. He had 3 shots in game 1. He had 3 shots in 3 of 7, 3 of his last 5, 7 of 10, 14 of 20, and 54% of his games this season. So getting plus odds on that is a decent value there, especially against the Lightning here. 3+ shots on goal in 10 of his last 12 games against the Lightning there. So definitely usually getting pucks on net. He had 3 shots on 3 attempts in game 1. Usually he has more attempts. So should be a good bet there at plus 110. But yeah, you could look at a Alexander Barkov, a Sam Reinhart point stack. That gets to plus 116 with those 2 top liners also on the top power play unit together. If you want to add in Carter Verhaeghe, he's not on that top power play unit, but he is on the top line. That gets you up to plus 270. And then second line, if you're looking for a Kachuk stack, Sam Miskevich is on that second line and also on the top power play unit. So that gets you to plus 256 if you do those 2 together. And then if you add in centerman Sam Bennett, who's on the second power play unit, not on the top unit with those guys, gets to plus 470. Like I said, I am expecting a high scoring game. That's kind of the point of betting these point bets and these shots on goal and stuff, because you want to root for goals here in the playoffs, expecting a high scoring game after a 6-2 final in game 1. Vasilevsky has not been himself the past few playoffs. So, Lightning are going to have to score to keep up with the Panthers there. On the Lightning side, not looking at too much. The big one is just Nikita Kucherov, power play point. It's plus 120. He's got 1 in back-to-back games, 7 of his past 12 games against the Panthers. So, I mean, over 1.5 points you see here is plus 120. A power play point is plus 120. If you want to look elsewhere on that top unit, I mean, you got Gensel plus 210, Point plus 200, Hedman plus 220, Hagel plus 340. If you're looking for the long shot there, I think he plays the bumper on that top unit for the Lightning. Definitely going to need to get their power play going as well with Anthony Cirelli likely out tonight. Definitely takes a big hit to their depth. So going to want to draw penalties and capitalize on those power play opportunities. Kucherov clearly the safest option at plus 120, but you can get almost double that with Gensel at plus 210, Hedman plus 220, then Hagel. You see here average 0.13 power play points per game, but plus 340 should be a lot of power plays in this one, I would think. So that's a decent option there. And then as far as the point stack, you can look at Kucherov in point, but that really only gets you to minus 130. Braden Point is minus 175 on his own to get a point. If you take them each 2 points, though, it gets you up to plus 390. I think the Lightning are going to have to be carried by that top line. As I said, with Cirelli out, you're going to need that Point Kucherov combination to work really well. They're trying different guys on that top line. You got to figure out who works there. And maybe a second line option of Brandon Hagel and Jake Gensel is plus 148. They are on the top power play unit together, play on the second line together, are at home. So you can see John Cooper trying to get a better matchup there against the Panthers. But yeah, that's the player props for that first game. Looking at Kachchuck, looking at Barkov, Reinhardt shots, Kucherov power play point, and then some point stacks for the top guys that are on the top line and top power play unit together. That's typically the way to look there for those point stacks. All right, next we have at 7 p.m. the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Ottawa Senators. Leafs plus 110, Sens minus 130. I do like the Sens here at home. I think the refs could try to get them back into the series. I think the series has been closer than the scores have indicated. We did see them take the overtime there in game 2. So I think the Ottawa Senators having their first home game since 2017 should definitely get them going there. Not as many power play, not as many point options here or even prop options, but a few potential parlay pieces. Mitch Marner has been great in the playoffs. You have him at minus 260 to get a point. You know, you can put him and Matthews together to get to minus 140. That's not a bad option. Those guys have been kind of carrying the load there a bit for the Leafs. Marner especially has been great. 3 points in game 1, 1 point last game, point now in 7 straight games. 3 of his past 4 against Ottawa as well there. So Marner's really stepped it up in a contract year for him. He has a point in 9 of his last 10 and 16 of his last 18 games. So, I mean, that's going to be, minus 260, but hopefully we see him come through there. Same thing for Matthews, minus 260 as well. But like I said, if you put those two together, we see here, well, it's not minus 220. It can't be minus 220. It's minus 220 for them to both get 1 point, which seems wrong. When I did it earlier, it was minus 140. But might have to play around with that on a different book. You could, of course, add Matthew Nyes into that. Let me see what that gets you up to. He is on the top line. He is not here an option to parlay with them. So I guess we're not going to be looking at that. But yeah, just look at those two guys. Also, those two for power play points. I mean, that whole 5 forward power play unit for the Leafs. You got Matthews plus 165, Marner plus 180. And you got that's all. That's all DraftKings is offering there. But I mean, you got Tavares plus 210 in other books. You got Matthew Nyes plus 280. He is the net front guy. You could, get a puck bounce off of him or something and go in. But John Tavares has been great. Him and Marner, the two guys going to be free agents this offseason, are really stepping it up in the playoffs there. You could look at a John Tavares and William Nylander point stack as well. When I did it before, it got me to plus 122. Let me see if it's even an option here. It doesn't appear to be an option. So maybe your book offers it. That is something I would look at with those two guys. Have been great on the second line together, along with Pontus Holmberg has been there. Could be a sneaky play with Holmberg, get those cleanup plays, maybe a secondary assist. But just really looking at the top guys here. Another parlay piece could be for the Senators is Jake Sanderson to get 2 shots on goal. We have it here minus 240 at DraftKings. That is pretty much the market price. He's had two or more shots on goal in 12 straight games, 16 of his past 19 against the Leafs in all 5 meetings this season. He had 3, 2, 4, 3, and 2. What's that? 7 of his past 9 against the Leafs as well. So it's just Sanderson's been shooting. I think he does quarterback that top power play unit for the Sens, but not really looking at too many Senators power play points. Tim Stützle would probably be the guy I would look at. Maybe Brady Kachuk comes alive on home ice here in the return to Ottawa. If you want to play the narrative play there, Kachuk 5+ shots on goal is plus 140. He should be trying to come out hot, minus 150 to get a point. Let me see what he is here for a power play point, plus 260. Like I said, these refs, might be trying to give the Sens a little bit of help at home ice. The crowd may egg them on a little bit as well. So Sens there, power play points, plus 260 Kachuk, plus 260 Sanderson. Cousins has been good for them. He's been shooting a lot, so maybe a plus 340 option. My boy Claude Giroux on the second unit, plus 450. But not really too confident. Wouldn't go too strong on any of those plays. Just more if you're a Leafs fan, if you're a Sens fan, if you're just someone from Canada looking for props on that game, that is what I would look at there. But yeah, as far as the Leafs are concerned, like I said, Tavares power play point plus 210. He had 2 in game 1, 1 in game 2, and Marner, Matthews, and Nylander are all under 2-1 at the other books that I found there. Trevor asking here in the chat, Senators are 6-1 to win the series. Do I think there's value there? I don't think that's a good price right now, but if you think the Sens are going to win this game, I mean, it definitely is beneficial to take them in the series. Let me see what they are for like plus 2.5 games is something I might be looking at there. Playoff series props. Let me click in the Sens here. Sens series spread plus 2.5 plus 130. I think the Sens can sneak out 2 wins in this series, especially one at home. Maybe they go down 3-1 and the Leafs blow it in game 5 and then have to go back to Ottawa. So that's the way I would be looking at it. Ottawa plus 2.5 plus 130, plus 1.5 plus 270. Not quite enough for me, I don't think. Although it would be very fun to see the Leafs Sens go 7 games. Let me see what the best option is for the series winner yet. 6-1 is the best price out there for the Sens. So if you do like them, if you like them tonight to win, I would sprinkle them on the series as well. All right, we are brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees and no minimums. You can earn cash back rewards and 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, and deposit $25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs and NFL draft. Props for every game, and for the true DGens, the MyBookie Money Bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, 9 o'clock here on Thursday. We have the Vegas Golden Knights minus 170 at the Minnesota Wild plus 142. I do like the Golden Knights in this game. I like them in this series. I like them long term in the playoffs here. Adin Hill had an uncharacteristically bad game, I think, in game 2 with the Wild kind of jumping all over Vegas. So I got just a few props here. Pavel Dorofeyev has been pretty big for the Golden Knights this season, kind of coming out of nowhere. I do like him to keep shooting here. 3+ shots on goal is at minus 155. That's the best price out there. Through 2 games this series, he has 8 shots on goal on 15 attempts. He had 3 in game 1, 5 in game 2. He had 3 or more shots on goal in 9 straight games now, and 14 of his last 17, and had 3 shots on goal in now all 5 meetings against Minnesota this season. 3, 5, 6, 3, and 5. So potential option to ladder it up here as well. 4+ shots on goal. You have plus 155. He's done that in 4 of his past 5 games and 3 of his past 4 against Minnesota. And in all 3 of those games where he got 4 against Minnesota, he got 5. So plus 350. You want to do a mini ladder there for Pavel Dorofeyev. Golden Knights should be looking to get more offense going. They were the better team in the second half of that game too. So hopefully they can take that game on the road. And I'm going with my boy, Jack Eichel. He's minus 190 to get a point, plus 250 to get 2 points. I didn't realize it was that much. I might take a look at that one there. What is he to get an assist? Assist for Eichel plus 110. He's been setting his teammates up all series long, just have not had those shots go in. So, maybe he starts shooting himself. Maybe he start getting some puck luck with Mark Stone or whoever they put on that top line with him. It was Barbashev. It was Howden last game. Looks like they have Barbashev back up there as of morning skate today. So, I like Eichel assist, Eichel point, but primarily Eichel power play point too. Had not been a lot of power plays in this series. Vegas just plays a very disciplined game in Minnesota, then also kind of falling in line with that. But if there are going to be power plays, you got to go with an Eichel power play point at plus 240. He runs the entire power play. hasn't done anything this series, but if that power play does come alive, it is going to be Eichel leading the way. He did have a power play point in 3 straight games against Minnesota before the playoffs started here. So I like that plus 240 price. Not really sure if I would take anyone else. Shea Theodore plus 340. Tomas Hertl has been good. He centers that top unit plus 380. Mark Stone plus 390. Dorfeyev here. They don't have Dorfeyev here. That could be a good option if they have him on other books, but just stick with that Eichel. Maybe look at Barbashev now in the top unit or in the top line as well if you want to attack him for shots on goal or just points. He has see if DraftKings has Ivan Barbashev up plus 130. Yeah, you got him plus 130. You have Stone up at minus 125. Then Eichel minus 190. Don't really like anything on Minnesota side point wise. Kaprizov's been good, but he's minus 285 to get a point. 2 points is plus 155. Maybe look at an assist. He's had a few 6 setups to Matt Boldy, minus 110 for an assist. That would probably be my favorite way to attack a Kaprizov prop. Goal scorer could look at Matthew Boldy again, plus 170. He's been the recipient of a few of those Kaprizov passes. But my favorite wild bet is going to be Ryan Hartman to have 2 shots on goal at minus 145. It is minus 130 elsewhere. I would recommend shopping around for that. He had 3 shots on goal on 9 attempts and then 3 shots on goal on 7 attempts in game 1 and game 2. He has multiple shots in his last 5 games, 7 of his past 8 games, 8 of his past 10, 16 of his past 19. So, very high percentage, high volume shooter as of late. And he's had multiple shots in the last 8 meetings against Vegas dating back to February of 2024. Like I mentioned, he had 3 shots on goal in game 1 and game 2. He has 3 or more shots on goal in 3 of 5 and 4 of 8 overall, and 3 of 4 and 6 of 8 in his last 8 against Vegas. So maybe look for a little ladder there as well. 3+ shots on goal plus 210. Like I would definitely, if I'm taking 2, I'm going to sprinkle 3 as well, and hopefully he can keep firing there at home in front of the home crowd. But yeah, not too many there for the Vegas Minnesota game. And the nightcap tonight, just a half hour later, we got the Winnipeg Jets at the St. Louis Blues at 9:30. Jets minus 120, Blues plus 100. Love the Jets. They should be bigger favorites. So if you're betting this game to game, take the Jets. Take the Jets because the Jets series is like minus 1200 and they're minus 120 here in this game. Has been a close series. Blues have played them well. Maybe coming home can get them going a bit, but Jets have been a decent road team this season, 26-15. Blues 24-17 at home, so no huge advantage there. Also not too much here in terms of props. Just going to be looking at the top guys for the Jets. That's going to be Mark Scheifele, over 1.5 shots on goal at minus 185 here. He's had multiple shots on goal in 8 straight games overall. That includes game 1 and 2. And then head-to-head against St. Louis, he's had 2 multiple shots on goal in 3 straight and 5 of his last 6 meetings dating back to the start of this season. So he's shot a lot against them. Can maybe look at the 3+ at plus 170, but I'd probably just stick with the 2+ there. Kyle Connor's been good, but maybe a Scheifele Connor point stack. What would that get you to? That gets you minus 260, minus 205, get you to minus 145. That's what the Matthews Marner one should be down at too, if you look at that. So yeah, if the Jets are going to score, it'll probably be their top line. I was kind of shitting on their depth last night. Joel was defending it, but their top line's been great. Kyle Connor has been great. Alex Iafallo up there. Let me add Iafallo into this point stack because he is on the top unit as well. That gets you to plus 212. Would expect better, but yes, play the top guys here. For the Blues, that's got to be Robert Thomas. He's minus 205 to get a point. He's minus 130 to get an assist, and 2 shots on goal for him. He doesn't shoot too often, but 2 shots on goal, minus 155. He's done that in 5 straight games against Winnipeg. Coming back home here, I think he's going to be definitely a guy to watch. They can get the matchup that they want for Robert Thomas there, get that top line out, against, maybe not the shutdown line of Eichel and Stone there, give him some more favorable matchups. So like Thomas there for a point, maybe 2 points. That might be a lot to ask for, given the fact that the Blues haven't scored that many goals this series, just 3 in game 1 and then 1 in game 2. And they're not shooting much also. 25-17, and then game 2, each team had 22 shots on goal. So, Jets Blues should be a low scoring series, has been so far outside of that kind of back and forth game 1. So, yeah, not going to be taking a lot of player props in this one. As for the power play, not a ton I love. Probably not going to be touching this one, but you have to look once again at Kyle Connor is at plus 190, I believe. Yeah, plus 190. Scheifele at 2-1. And then on the Blues, Robert Thomas plus 220. Just, focus on those big boys. Hope they come through for you. If you're looking for a longer shot on the Jets side, Iafallo, as I mentioned, he's on the top unit at plus 390. Believe he plays net front. Cole Perfetti as well. I don't think he's even on here. He's a good long shot option if he's available on your book. And then for the Blues side, I mentioned him last night. Zachary Bolduc is like 5-1 for a power play point. Yeah, plus 450 for him. He's on the top unit with Buchnevich, Snuggerud, Thomas, and Fowler. So Thomas really going to be running that. Surprised to not see Jordan Kyrou up on there, but Thomas plus 220, Buchnevich plus 325, Bolduc plus 450, like Snuggerud not even an option there. So expecting a low scoring game, not going to be taking too much there. But, maybe if you're riding hot, trying to have something on the late game, you can look that way. All right, before we get into the few games on Friday, gotta make sure we shout out Underdog. Underdog Pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your entry. So sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code HGP. And Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball, and they got models for NBA and golf. Picks so good it feels like cheating, and building your own model is simple and easy. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on now. 25% off a monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual with promo code SGPN50. That is RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. I got 3 games here on Friday. Got the Washington Capitals minus 122 at the Montreal Canadiens plus 102. We saw the Capitals come through again last night in game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Not much going on in the first period. Dvorak opens the scoring for the Canadiens, but then Caps come alive. 2 goals in a minute to pull ahead. And the Connor McMichael empty net goal with 2 seconds left to make it a 3-1 win. The Metropolitan Division has not been much of an exciting series so far with this one and the Canes and the Devils. Maybe, going back to Montreal can get them going a little bit. So let's take a quick look at some player props here. Once again, it's going to be the top guys for Washington. It's Ovechkin, it's Strome. Those are the guys you got to be looking at there. Ovi to get a point, possible parlay piece at minus 205. Strome to get a point at minus 180. They're on the top line. Dylan Strome has been great for the Capitals in that role. Anthony Beauvillier is on that top line with them as well. So what is he at to get a point? That might be a decent value play. He's not even offered as of yet. So stick with those top guys. Ovi, Strome, point stack gets you to minus 105, pretty much even money. I do like that quite a bit because if the Caps are scoring, it should be those two. And then on the Canadian side, Nick Suzuki is the obvious choice, but he's up at minus 230. So I'd go with, Cole Caulfield, minus 165. He's been he had a goal there in game 1. He can pick up some assists as well on that top line with Suzuki, and I believe Slavkovsky is still up there. And head-to-head against the Capitals, he had points in 4 straight before being held off the score sheet in game 2. So I think Caulfield getting that down from 230 Suzuki to 165 for Caulfield, or even better, Slavkovsky minus 125, Or, look at the likely Calder Trophy winner. Lane Hudson is minus 120 for an assist, minus 140 for a point because he does not score very often. So I maybe look that way for the Capitals and the Canadiens. Have not been many power play goals in this series so far, but it has been those top guys. You got Ovi plus 160, you got Strome plus 175, you got Suzuki plus 165, Hudson plus 210, Caulfield plus 280. I would possibly take that on the instead of looking at Suzuki or Hudson. Let me look up how many power play points these guys had in the regular season real quick. Montreal Canadiens. Suzuki had 27. Hudson had 26. So, Suzuki is at plus 165. Hudson plus 210. That's probably the best value play in terms of power play points for the Canadiens. Going over to Washington, Strome had 34 power play points. Ovi had 22, but also Ovi missed 17 games there. So, Strome plus 175. Still probably who I'd take over Ovi. Strome is the distributor on that. Could set him up. Could get a secondary assist. Line A 3-1, the decent option for the Habs as well. And then looking at the Capitals, Carlson plus 325, Wilson plus 325. Maybe you get a dirty goal in front or shot through traffic or something. But primarily just going to look at the top guns here for both sides. I guess for this series now, you have the Caps up 2-0. It's the Canadiens might be able to get one here at home. Let me see what the odds are for the series. Let me pull this up here. I do still, I like the Capitals going in. I backed off of it a bit, and I'm probably going to be regretting that because the Canadiens just look like they're not quite ready for playoff hockey. Let me share this tab instead. Yeah, you got Caps minus 1100, Canadiens plus 700. I think that might be too high. If the Canadiens can show something at home, they get right back into it. Canadiens plus 2.5, plus 160. That's probably a decent way to attack these series if you like the team that's trailing. But I don't know. I can't get a great read on this series. Like, it could go either way. Like, I don't think the cap should be minus 1100. I guess I'll say that. So if I had to take something in the series, it would be Canadiens 7-1, Canadiens plus 2.5, plus 160, like something like that, just to have the underdog a little bit, root for the underdog there. All right. Also on Friday, have the Hurricanes Devils. We mentioned this game last night, so we're not going to get into it too much. Just a boring series so far. Devils just appear to not have it. Injuries to Jack Hughes, injuries now to Luke Hughes and Brendan Dillon as well. Definitely taking them down, but going to be looking at some Hurricanes props here. You got Seth Jarvis to get a point is minus 165. He's been one of their leading scorers this season, had a point in game 2, has points in 7 of his past 10, 16 of his past 20. So he's going to be one of the leading guys for them, minus 165. Taylor Hall against his former team to get 2 shots on goal. He had 3 shots on goal on 6 attempts in game 1, 2 shots on goal on 3 attempts in game 2, and has multiple shots in all 4 games against the Devils since the beginning of 2023. So, Hall to get 2 shots. Is that even offered here? Yeah, minus 120. I'll take that. Take that for a Canes prop there. And then one more guy who just seems to always show up in the playoffs is Jordan Martinook. It's he's grinder type guy, but plus 190 to get a point. He has a point in each game of the series so far, including 2 points there in game 2. Just seems to show up in big moments, whether it's an assist, an empty net goal. You can get plus 340 for an assist. You can get 7-1 for a goal if you want to just sprinkle either of those rather than the point. But I think plus 190, plus 195 for him to get a point could be a fun little bet there. And the only thing I'm really looking at on the Devils side is Jesper Bratt shots on goal, 3+ at plus 125 there. He's their best player now. I mean, Heischer is up there as well, but I think Bratt is going to be the key. He had 3 shots on goal in the first 2 games of this series on 5 attempts in each game. He has 3 shots on goal now in 5 straight. So coming back home, going to need to be shooting the puck quite a bit. I like that plus 125 look for Jesper Bratt. And then finally on Friday night at 10 p.m., we have the Los Angeles Kings plus 114 at the Edmonton Oilers minus 135. Over 6.5 is plus 110. Under 6.5 minus 130. That over 6.5 has to be the favorite look at plus 110. I mean, the Kings have shown they can score. The Oilers have shown they can't stop a puck. Stuart Skinner getting pulled, and then the Kings fans chanting, "We want Skinner," when you had a Pickard give up a goal on his first shot. But Oilers coming back home should be getting a few goals of their own. So really like that over in that game there, and like the props for both teams' top lines. That Kempe's been amazing, but so has Andrei Kuzmenko, so has Anze Kopitar on that AK top line. So Kempe point minus 175, Kempe assist is plus 120, Kempe 3 shots on goal minus 150. He's been firing the puck, 8 shots on goal in game 2 there. He was incredible. He had 4 points. So multiple points for Kempe at plus 280. He had 4 points in game 2, 3 points in game 1. I mean, multiple points now in 4 straight, 5 of his past 6 games, 3 straight against the Oilers. He has multiple points. So if you're giving me plus 260 for that, like give me 2 points for Kempe, give me 2 points for Kopitar, and give me 2 points for Kuzmenko. Let me see what that builds to here. It builds to 26-1 for the Kings top line to keep on rolling, and they're rolling right now for LA. So definitely a good way to look there. If it's just Kopitar, Kuzmenko 2 points each, 16-1. If it's just all 3 of those guys to get 1 point, that might be the safest option is at plus 266. That's pretty good there as well. So take those top guys for the Kings. They've been dominating. And also Quinn Byfield has been pretty good as well. So minus 130 for him to get a point. He does play on the second line, so not quite as many opportunities, but maybe he gets more on the road now with Fiala and Laferriere on his line. And he is on that top power play unit. So it could be a sneaky play for the power play points. Let me see if they have that market up yet. Yeah, they got Kempe plus 170, Fiala 2-1, Kopitar 240, Byfield 270, Doughty 390. He's not even on that top unit. Kuzmenko 260, like Kopitar 240, Kuzmenko 260, Byfield 270. Like I like those a lot. When you have Kempe at 170, you can get an extra dollar for another one of those guys on the top unit. I think that's pretty good there. And of course, speaking of the top unit, you got to look at the Oilers. McDavid plus 124 power play point, Draisaitl plus 135, Bouchard plus 200. I mean, it's just that's what they have to do. They have to get their power play going. Draisaitl had 33 power play points this season. McDavid 31, Bouchard 26. So stick with the top guys there. Let me see if they've changed up their lines. They had Corey Perry there on the top line, but not the top unit. You got Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins plus 325, Hyman plus 340. Maybe he finally shows up in this game 3 at home, but definitely an interesting series so far. Kings have dominated outside of Connor McDavid putting the team on his back in the third period of game 1, but the Kings have been a great home team, but 17-24 on the road. Edmonton 25-16 at home. It's a must-win game for Edmonton. So if you're getting minus 135 for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in a must-win game, I think you got to look that way. But over 6.5 would be my favorite bet in this one here. All right, that's the 4 games tonight, 3 games on Friday. Looking at props primarily here. Going to definitely be back most likely Saturday with a full episode, potentially doing something on Friday as well. Like I said, make sure you do subscribe to the YouTube so you can see when we're going live, get the information live as well. Also subscribe on Apple and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and review there. Just look at these series props here before we go. Kings minus 200 for the series. If you're listening to this before puck drops on that at 9, I like that a lot. And then, if you think the Oilers can come back, plus 340. I don't think that's too bad. But yeah, Stars Avs as well. When is that game on Friday? Is that or Saturday? It's a Saturday game, 9:40. Avs minus 192. Definitely expected a lot more from them in game 3 with Landeskog coming back, but the Stars. They got Jamie Benn, they got Tyler Seguin with the winner. They're two old heads kind of coming in. And Thomas Harley's look great. So the Stars are looking like, even without Robertson, even without Heiskanen, they're looking like the better, more skilled team right now. But I think the Avs do get this one at home, back-to-back overtime games. I think they can finally, find the back of the net a few times there. So we'll look for McKinnon points, look for power play points for Natchez, Makar, keep looking at that stuff. But yeah, maybe I'll touch on that more on Friday or Saturday. But for that series, I think it still goes either way. If whoever wins this series, I think definitely goes to the Cup final at this point, unless there's major injuries. The Kings have looked good. The Jets have looked good. The Knights have looked good. But I don't know. This series we've always kind of pointed to as whoever wins this one should be the favorite, and it's definitely looking that way so far. All right, so make sure you subscribe. As I said, follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Get in the Discord as well, sg.pn/Discord. I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop. See ya.